the Biden administration is preparing to ask Congress to approve the sale of 40 F-16 fighter jets to Turkey. And we are now with U.S. retired Colonel Richard Outzen, Senior Fellow at the Atlantic Council. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Good to be here with you.
Long history because it started as an F-35 deal. Just remind us what's the history there.
Certainly. Well, it's in a sense compensation for the expulsion of Turkey from the F-35 program. Turkey had been an original stakeholder in the F-35 program, was involved with the design and the construction. After, however, the U.S. Congress passed the CATSA, Countering America's Adversaries Through Sanctions Act, at about the same time that Turkey decided to buy a sophisticated Russian air defense system, the S-400, there was pressure within Congress to expel Turkey from the F-35 program. This came at a time of increased tensions between Ankara and many of our other regional allies as well. There was a process of trying to get the Turks to give back the S-400s or not to buy the S-400s, which they declined to do, and that resulted in expulsion from the F-35. So Turkey, as you probably know, has a very sophisticated aerospace industry of its own, especially in the drone area. Unmanned fighters are on the horizon, and they have a variety of reconnaissance and strike drones, rather. But they do have a gap between when their current fleet of F-16s are going to time out because of maintenance problems and when they get their own domestic fighters, the TFX, as they call it, plus the unmanned systems that are essentially fighters as well online. So this gap is bad for Turkey, and it's bad for NATO because it indicates a decreased alliance air presence and air capability on that southeastern flank. So that's why the idea for F-16s came up, to buy 40 new F-16s and modernization kits. I think the number is 76, to upgrade some of the existing Turkish F-16s to the latest technology.
Right. Now, obviously, Greece is watching this. The Greeks will not be very happy about that, so they may get a deal of their own.
That's right. So it's sort of reminiscent for those of your viewers who may remember the 1970s and 80s. The U.S. had this 7-to-10 ratio by which that balanced defense sales to Turkey and to Greece. And at that time, of course, the Soviet Union was a much more direct threat to most of NATO. So for every $10 of defense gear that was sold to the Turks, we had to sell 7 to the Greeks, and either in aid or in direct sales. So it's sort of reminiscent of that, this idea that we'll be providing or selling F-16s in significant numbers to the Turks, but at the same time offsetting any imbalance between those two NATO allies that might be created by also providing an advanced capability, in this case F-35s, and even more capable aircraft to the Greeks to assuage any concerns they have about an air threat from their neighbor.
We have less than a minute. Will that give the Biden administration some leverage in getting Turkey off the back of Sweden?
I think that's the play. I think that the Turks know that there is a congressional approval that's required for both of these deals, for the F-35 to Greece and the F-16 to Turkey. So that may kick off as soon as this week with a notification of these deals to Congress. And I think for Congress to approve them, especially senators like Robert Menendez of New Jersey, who's been very skeptical of Turkey and any big arms deals with them, it's going to take President Biden to personally leverage and intervene with those. So I think the quid pro quo for President Biden to do that would be some Turkish movement on accession for Sweden and Finland into NATO. That's right. The talk in Washington anyway.
Colin Rich Outzen, thank you very much.
Good to see you.